What's up? Hey, welcome back to the house, man. This is Rough House Boxing. I am that boy Box. Yeah, man. Thank y'all for coming by, man. Chopping it up with me, man. That's what's up. Hey, I gotta say, first of all, shout out to the LDBC Lions Den Boxing Community. Uh, make sure that you support all those brothers and sisters that are out there putting out good content. You know, uh, can't stress enough the mission statement, the mantra that we in the LDBC have. We only want to see the best fight the best. We only want boxing that's fair, that's honest, that's true, and regardless of who the fighter is, yeah, we may have our favorites, but at the same time, we we do our best to call it down the line as straightly as fairly as transparently as possible, man. And we don't just we don't just back one race, one nationality, contrary to what narrative some people putting out there. That's not the truth. We got brothers and sisters in the LDBC that are Lomachenko fans, that are Dariachenko fans, that are Josh Taylor fans, that are Mikey Garcia fans, that are, you know, Errol Spence and Deontay Wilder fans. So, everybody's got their own flavor, their own taste, their own likes, dislikes as far as individual fighters go. But on a whole scale, we just want it we just wanted the best product put out there, and we want boxing to be as as fair and as impartial as it can be. Because whether you agree with it or not, if you are a boxing fan, if you tune in, if you buy the pay-per-views, if you buy tickets to go to these matches, to these bouts, these fights, you know, you are the driving force. We are the driving force behind these boxers' livelihoods. Now, I know for a fact that these men and these women that get in the ring, they sacrifice so much. They put their lives and their health at risk. They put their well-being at risk. That's the life they chose. That's the sport they chose. My hat goes off to them, you know, and I appreciate them for the enjoyment that they bring to us as fans. Now, at the same time, if there weren't fans, there'd be no boxers. Not professionally anyway. Everybody would be amateurs. But I said all of that, to say that I just finished watching the interview that Jim Gray did from Showtime with Kenny Porter and Angel Garcia. And first of all, I gotta say shout out to Jim Gray. I think he did a very, very good interview. Um, he he asked some questions that I wasn't expecting, and it was more of an introspective interview towards the two fathers. It wasn't so much about, well, my son's gonna do this to his son when they get in the ring, and he's gonna beat him like this, and he's gonna use the jab, and he's gonna counter. It wasn't about that. There's been a lot of, well, first off, we know that Angel Garcia and Kenny Porter are the fathers of Danny Garcia and Sean Porter, and they're also their trainers. And Kenny Porter is also, along with being Sean's trainer, he's Sean's manager. So they wear multiple hats in the lives of their sons besides just being fathers. It's a full time job just being a father, and I got to imagine that as a parent, it's got to be difficult. It's got to be stressful. It's got to be grueling and taxing to be your child's uh, trainer, whether they're a boxer, they're in MMA, they're in any kind of combat sport, martial arts, what have you. It's got to be very hard on a parent, you know. And on the one hand, everything is probably sunshine and roses when your child is out there performing, you know, at 100, and they're piecing up the the opponent that they're facing, and they're not getting touched, and they're looking like $1 million in there. It's got to be all smiles and sunshine. But at the same time, on the flip side of that, it's got to be hard. It has got to be hard to see your child in the ring, in the cage, on the mat, whether wrestling, like I said, some type of martial arts, anything, to see your child out there taking punishment and taking damage when they're in there with an opponent that's giving it just as hard and as tough and as consistently as your son or daughter is giving it to the opponent, and not to mention if they're in the ring getting destroyed. That's gotta touch a place as a parent in your heart that's unimaginable by the majority of people. You know, I don't have sons, I have two daughters. If they ever decide to take up some type of combat sport activity, I will back them 100%. But I just don't believe I could be their trainer. I really don't believe I could be their trainer. You know, and that's just me though. That's a personal thing, and it will be super hard, because these men and women, these boys and girls, they have a warrior's mentality. They have a warrior's heart. They want to compete in a combat element, a combat environment, and as a warrior, you always want to go out on your shield. But as that fighter's trainer, and if any of you have watched boxing for more than a day, you've seen multiple matches. I'm pretty sure everybody out there has heard the commentators, the analysts, you know, the the broadcast team or whatever the case may be, use the phrase that sometimes the the corner or the trainer has to save the fighter from themselves. You know, so that puts that trainer into a very, very, weird space, you know, to want their fighter to be able to battle through whatever the opposition, the obstacle, the the pain, you know, that they're enduring, they're going through at that particular moment. You want them to be able to fight through that. But sometimes, when we see it all the time, watching boxing, sometimes that just doesn't happen. And sometimes those fighters take a hard L, a super hard L, you know. But back to the interview. Like I said, the interview wasn't about what one father's son was going to do to the other father's son. He asked some very introspective questions. Jim Gray asked questions like, "Have you ever hit your son during, when they were coming up in their boxing career?" And Angel talked about one time when Danny was a kid coming up in the amateurs, that he was at a tournament and he lost the tournament. And after the tournament, Danny was, running around happy, content, eating hot dogs. And Angel was thinking about him working from 9 to 9 every day, trying to work up the money for them to get to that tournament. And he didn't feel like Danny was as focused and took it as seriously, and didn't understand the sacrifice that the parents put in to taking these children to different states and sometimes different countries, and it's and they talked about that, and that was one of the things that both fathers agreed upon, is that the amateur ranks, they need some type of sponsorship, they need some type of financial assistance for these, for the families, the parents of these kids that are, you know busting their behind working a 9 to 5, and then the extra hours that they spend with their children, getting them trained up, getting them getting them you know to these different meets and things like that. I just imagine that it's got to be hard. But yeah, but he asked Angel, had he ever hit his son. Angel said that he jacked Danny up against the wall after that loss. And he said he told him that you never gonna lose again. I bust my butt from 9 to 9, making sure that able to do this. This is more than just a game. And he said he threw him on the bed. He said Danny never lost after that. And I think that was up until Keith Thurman the Keith Thurman fight. But they asked Kenny Porter, and Kenny said nah. He said that he would jack up Sean's two older brothers, and Sean would see it, and Kenny would say, "Hey, look, I don't want to have to do this to you too." And Kenny would be like, "Nope, not gonna happen to me." So he said that Kenny had it pretty good because he was the baby, and he saw his older brothers catch it, so he didn't go that route. Uh, they asked Jim Gray asked them, had they ever hit or wanted to hit one of their son's opponents? Because I got to imagine, if at any time you see your child in the ring getting thrashed, that parental instinct of protection, has to kick in at some point, you know. And uh, Angel said no, he hadn't. He hadn't. He said he wanted to on on an occasion or two. He said he wished he was 20 years younger at the time, so he could square up with some of them cats. And Kenny said that he never hit one of Sean's opponents, in that manner. He said one time when Adrian Broner was a little kid, he said he grabbed Adrian Broner by the collar, and he said he spanked him a couple times across his butt. He said, but that was because Adrian was running up and down the halls loud and cursing. I guess they were at a tournament or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, he said that was the only time. He said, but it wasn't in like I dislike you. He said it was in a fatherly or a coach towards a young fighter, try to, straighten him up and straighten him out. But they went they went on with more questions. But the main thing that I got out of that interview was the two different mind states of the father slash trainers towards their son. Uh, Kenny Porter, you know, had the view or the mind state that and I'm trying to think, what was the question Jim Gray asked him. Jim Gray asked him, as a father and as a trainer, you know, do you are you willing to tell your son, things that are in his best interest, and do they listen to you? And Kenny Kenny was like, yeah, basically he was like, I'm his trainer, but not only his trainer, I'm his manager, you know, and I look out for Sean's best interest down the line, health wise, financially wise. He said, and if I feel like I need to sit him on the shelf to save him from himself, as his manager, I do that. And I kind of had mixed feelings about that, because number one, like I said, I get it. That's got to be hard to see your son walk into the lion's den, no pun intended, you know, and have to face that adversity. But at the same time, like I said before, your child is the warrior that's in there doing battle. And if that child wants to, that fighter wants to, face off against an opponent that you might not think they're able to handle or they're ready for, you know, but that that fighter believes in himself that, hey, I got what it takes to beat this guy or this girl or whatever the case may be. You know, do you back your son, your daughter? You know, do you let them go out on their shield? That's just some things to think about, and I see where he was coming from. Like I said, sometimes the trainer has to save the fighter from themselves, and that's even before the fighter gets in the ring. So we see in a lot of cases, and we talk about, well, so and so was ducking so and so, but as a parent, could you send your child in there to slaughter? That's got to be a hard thing to do, especially if you feel in your heart and in your mind that the child's not ready, or do you just say, hey, they're a fighter, this is what they signed up for, you know, either they're gonna catch a W or they're gonna catch a L, you know. Now, um, Angel, he said, hey, Danny's the boss. Danny calls the shots. If Danny wants to mix it up with a certain individual, that's Danny's call. I'm just the trainer, you know. So that being said, he's willing to let his son, go out on his shield. He's willing, apparently, by his own words, he's willing to let his son face the toughest competition, and but should there be times when he protects Danny from his own self? Now, I'm saying that, I'm speaking in general terms because it seems like Danny is very selective about his competition, and he's kind of earned that label as a diva and a prima donna, and he'll fight for the bag. The bag is the primary goal, which me myself, I wish that these fighters would get all they can get, out of the sport of boxing, because boxing is going to get all it can out of you. So for all of you young kids that are thinking about taking up boxing, young kids who are currently, you know, in the amateur ranks coming up, the you young boxers who have just started your professional career, I say, get the most out of boxing, because boxing is going to get everything it can out of you, physically, mentally, emotionally. It's going to stress and strain and test relationships, that you have with family and friends and things like that. But, it is what it is. And I just want to speak on that interview. Like I said, Jim Gray, Showtime. I think it was a pretty good piece. Oh, and I also thought it was pretty funny. The boy Kenny set Angel up. Yeah, just got the low battery warning. But that boy Kenny set Angel up. Angel had on the DSG shirt. Angel said it stand for Don't Stop Grinding, and Kenny was like, oh, I thought it stood for something else. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I got one of those shirts, and he was like, yeah, you do? Oh man, appreciate it, man. And he was like, yeah, I got it on right now. And yeah, Kenny was dressed in his suit with his Kango, looking like the lost member of Full Force, you know. And he, opened his button up shirt, what I'm saying, through his jacket, and he had on a DSG shirt, and it said Sean destroys Garcia. Was that what it was? Sean Sean destroys Garcia. That's what that was. But they both had a they took it in good humor. They were both very respectful of each other. They shook each other's hands. They congratulated each other on their success thus far, and they wished each other and their sons the best for the fight coming up on September. What is it? The 8th, September 8th. But yeah, those are my viewpoints on that interview, man. Y'all go check it out, man. It's up on YouTube. Like I said, I just finished watching it, and this is Rough House Boxing. I am Dead Boy Box, and I gotta send a plug to my man, the Cali Enigma. Hey, if you haven't checked out the Cali Enigma, man, you need to check him out because that dude puts out that fire. Stay grinding. Multiple videos and live streams daily. He's always giving you the latest and the greatest, the real and the raw. He's passionate about this boxing. And like I said, he wants to see the best fight the best, and it shines through in the content, that product that he puts out there, man. So yeah, y'all go over and support that boy, the Cali Enigma, man. Like and subscribe to his page, and not only him, but everybody that's in the LDBC, male and female, because we out here grinding, man, and we do this for the love and the passion that we have for the sport. We do this for the integrity that we want to see in the sport, and we do it. Most of all, we do it for y'all. So we appreciate everybody that supports. My channel is new. I got a fledgling channel, so to speak. But the few subs that I have, man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man, and I ask that y'all continue to rock with me while we grow. We're gonna grow together in this thing. If you got suggestions, comment. Everybody knows, man. If you send me a comment, I'm gonna hit you back. I'm gonna comment in response, and I'm gonna thank you for stopping by the house. And you know what I'm saying, we're gonna discuss whatever it is that you commented about. I'm gonna reply to it, and that's just how I am, man. Because I know my channel is nothing without you that support my channel, man. So Rough House Boxing, every brick in Rough House Boxing TV, it is nothing without people that are out there watching the videos, rocking with me, supporting me, leaving comments, and like I said, growing with me as I grow, growing with the channel as it grows, growing with the house as it grows. Right now we're one story, but pretty soon we hope to put another story on, and then somewhere down the line we hope this thing to be a skyscraper. That's what it is, man. So hey, go by www.ldbcsports.com, make you a profile. Hey, and it's been put out before that the LDBC app is on its way. But the only way you're gonna get that alert, and you'll get updates about the app and when it's supposed to drop, and anything else that the LDBC is coming out with, man, you gotta go over there to ldbcsports.com. Make your profile. It's free. We like free. We love free. So it's free. Won't take you but a minute to do. So go ahead and go and knock that out after you hit the like button and the like button for this video, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, man. Go on over to the ldbcsports.com and make you a profile, man. And browse around, look at all the different content that's over there, man. And like I said, check out my boy the Cali Enigma, because he's doing it, man. He's doing it real B.I.G. But this is Rough House Boxing. I am Dead Boy Box. And let's see, is there anything else? Nah. So y'all go ahead and get on out the house. Gia.